So Sarah's now going to weigh the metal. She's going to use an electronic balance. We could use a triple beam balance and do it to 2 decimal places, but she's just going to go ahead and read that off, and that will be the initial mass of the metal. Alright, so we're looking at the electrolysis experiment here. That's a power supply there. You can see that the red wire here is connected to our unknown sample. Down here you've got the black wire it's connected to a wire here, a copper wire, that is inside the burette here. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see what it looks like inside the burette. Now I think a good technique here is to have the burette pretty close to the bottom and have the wire stuck up inside it so that the end of the wire is just below the first graduation that you see there. I think that's the easiest way. Now as you can see with the unknown, it's dipped into the solution, and we're trying to arrange it so that the alligator clip is not actually in the solution. Now the next step will be to suck up some of the electrolysis solution into the burette. Now we're going to use a pipette bulb here, and I'm going to take that up to the top here, and you can see, you'll be able to see that. Alright, so go ahead, before we do that, make sure that the burette is open before we do this, and it is. It's good. Alright, go ahead Samuel, and we will get started on sucking that up. So he's using it's the B button, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the B button here to suck up the solution. Now he's going to suck it up to it's the 50 mark, right? Yeah. Oh, you alright?
Yeah, shifted. It's fine.
Alright. And now remember, if it runs out of suction, you can always reapply suction by hitting it's the A button, right? Hit the A button and then compress the bulb. Recompress the bulb and then continue on. So he's just bringing it back up to the 50 mark here. Alright, so it's at the 50 mark. And don't forget to close the burette. So I'll just bring this back down here. So everything's set up now. He's going to check out the red wire here and make sure that it's still immersed in the solution. It is, right?
I'll drop it a little more.
Yeah, he's going to drop it a little bit more. But just remember that what's going to happen is, as the hydrogen displaces what's in the burette, what's going to happen is that the level of the liquid here is going to increase. So you don't want to drop it down too low. Alright, now this is all set up, and you can go ahead now and get started. So power it up and just turn it up to the max on everything. There we go. And what you'll see here is, you can see the bubbling, right? I'm going to zoom in on this so we can get a better view of the bubbles. Yeah, so there we go, the bubbles are there. And what's happening is that those bubbles are displacing the solution. And now we're going to see that the level of the liquid is decreasing in the burette, and actually you can see this as it works right now. Alright, so now what's happened is that we have been running this long enough so that the hydrogen is displaced pretty much down to the 0 mark. I think in the directions it says to get down between 0 and 5, which means that between 50 and 45 mils of hydrogen have been collected. So that's going to be measured to 2 decimal places because that's the accuracy of that burette there. What Sam's going to do now is he's going to take the metal out of the solution and he's going to rinse it off. Alright, so now Sam's going to rinse off his unknown, and he's just using a bit of DI water here. And now he's going to use some acetone to rinse it off as well. The acetone is going to be really easy to dry, to turn it over to, there we go. Okay, make sure you use a paper towel now to wipe that off. And do a good job drying it off completely. And then it can be weighed. So now Sarah's going to weigh again after it's been through the process, and what we're hoping for is that we have less there than we had when we started.